The whole notion of having a month every year that's kind of dedicated to the history of women and all the contributions just is kind of mind-blowing to me. When I was in high school, I don't remember hearing very much about any of the contributions women had made. Uh, that really, we talked a lot about history, right? And the notion of her role in history was new and exciting. And so to have it finally be here, it's be something that we talk about and that we can celebrate, um, just seems right. Seems like the right thing to do.
Well, because we have a month. It's important because we have a month, which is exciting that they're finally, I mean, we're being celebrated. It's important to celebrate women and lift other women up and appreciate the fact that we're important.
I think it's really important to take time to celebrate the work that we have done to reach and get closer to equality for women. I think obviously we've had to work doubly as hard to get into leadership roles, to be heard, to be seen, and to take time just to really focus on accomplishments and to celebrate. I think is so important.
I think a struggle that I faced as a woman is as a mom. Both my children have been born with medical struggles, medical challenges, and it has really torn me from, I guess, what I thought my life was going to be like. And it's made me sacrifice a lot of my professional career, which I always will for my children. And I think that what helped me pull through it is God, my faith, and really finding a passion in life, which is yoga, running, and just taking care of my health. And it's all of those have helped me just find peace and a center, and kept my intention, which is to be a really good mom and a really good teacher, good wife, good friend and daughter and woman in general.
Well, in my former life, I worked in entertainment. You guys know that. And I think the biggest thing for me was not getting the same opportunities as men that were in the same position as me. I had a job opportunity that I wanted to take, and I interviewed for it, and then I was denied a promotion because I hadn't been with the company long enough. That was the reason that they used, but I found out that a friend of mine had also been offered that same opportunity at the same time that he'd been with the company and was given the promotion. So I felt like it was really unfair. But, that was the business back, this was 20 some odd years ago. Back then that you could, if you were a woman, you weren't afforded the same privileges that men were because guys were guys and it was kind of a guy's business. So that was definitely a hard pill to swallow, but just wasn't my path, I think. And I chose to move elsewhere and do different things. So I've looked at it that way, but that's hard, to feel like you're not treated the same because you're a woman.
One of the struggles I faced as a woman was I was a military spouse. For 20 years, we moved around. We moved 13 times in 20 years. So I had to find a job every time I moved. I was never able to be in a place long enough to establish myself and move myself up wherever I was at. So I always felt like I had to fight for the position that I wanted everywhere we went, and I always had to start at the bottom and move my way as high as I possibly could. And sometimes we were there for 1 year, sometimes we were there for 4 years. But I felt like I always had that against me a little bit coming in as a woman, just always having to prove myself. I feel like I had to prove myself a little bit harder than everybody else.
I think one thing that women really have to work hard at is, we were talking about just a minute ago, is kind of balancing motherhood and balancing being in a leadership role. I think the world has not set us up to be able to do both in a balanced and healthy way. And so really finding a way to embrace both, finding a way to be a strong woman and a strong strong figure for my daughters, and teaching them to love each other, love others, and be kind, and also to kind of help have a strong role in the workplace. Those that don't always complement each other, and so I think that's a huge obstacle. I know my mom, for instance, was in a really high position at a really important organization for a long time, and someone said to her, that was actually her boss at the time, oh, you have 2 kids now, your career's over. Well, that's so not true, and that is just so not what I want my daughters to feel. I want them to think that they can do anything. And so practicing that and being a role model for them, I think, is really important. So I think that balance is hard to do, but is so necessary for younger girls to see.
As I thought about your question, I contemplated how I struggled determining how feminine I was comfortable with. I grew up kind of a tomboy a little bit. I liked to play sports. I didn't gossip because I didn't have any gossip. Nobody told me gossip. So I felt kind of left out of those circles. So I was kind of a tomboy. And I had struggled on how feminine I wanted to be. And it's taken me a little time till I was an adult to kind of find my sweet spot that was for me. So if I could roll that into advice, I would encourage women to just be what's comfortable, and that it looks different for different people. And it just takes a little time, and you'll find what fits best for you.
Be confident. It's hard to do sometimes, and I think we all second guess ourselves, and we all are worried about other people's perceptions, but be confident in yourself and in your strengths, and just also to be kind. Like, I think we're in a society where we put others down a lot. We spend a lot of time focusing on the difficult things and the bad things instead of lifting each other up and being caring. And I think practicing kindness can go a long way. So that would be my advice.
Oh, this is so important. I just want you to know how beautiful you are, and always remind yourself of that. And how I always tell my own son, I have 2 children, 2 sons, but I tell them that they're smart and they're sweet and they're strong. And I want you to remember how smart, sweet, and strong you are, and also to lift one another up, to love one another. Don't tear people down. Don't. It's okay to be competitive, but you should be straightening everyone's crowns. You want to embrace them and support them and love them, yourself and one another.
Advice I have for a younger woman, always be yourself. Always know that you are good enough. Don't let anybody else tear you down, because all it is a reflection on them and not on you. So just always believe in yourself and know that you can do anything you put your mind to. And if things don't work out the way that you think they're supposed to work out, just know that that's a different path. Your path just kind of turned a corner, and down that corner is something amazing. I've always believed that when opportunities don't work out the way that you think they're supposed to, it's because something else is supposed to happen, and that's where you're supposed to be at that moment in your life. So always believe in yourself, and take your disappointments and learn from them, but put them behind you and keep moving forward.
I would say to younger women to always listen to that inner voice. I would say that, especially if you're doing justice work around equity, to understand that this work is a marathon, not a sprint, that it might take a moment for you to see change or for the needle to move. I would also say to make certain that you have friends and seek out friends who are different from you, so you can always have a different perspective. And by that I really mean like women of color. And also I would say just remember that you're a child of God, and that you are strong, and that God loves you.
Advice I have for younger women is to know that your voice matters, and to never diminish who you are, and God has created you to do great things, and believe in that, and never let anyone tell you anything other than that. And whatever you're doing, do it with your whole heart.
Well, I always joke, wear sunscreen, because it does make a difference. Don't take a job that makes you wear pantyhose. Definitely. But truly, the best advice I can give is to know that you are enough. Like, you're always enough. And if anybody tries to tell you that you're not, those aren't your people. You're always going to be enough. And my grandma always used to say, you aren't better than anybody else, but there isn't anybody else better. And if you can just believe that in yourself, that's so important, because you really are. Like, you are the best, but you're not better than anybody else. So don't look at yourself as like a more important person or a better person than anybody else, but you need to go out there and know that you've got this, like, and you can.
The biggest piece of advice that I would have for younger women, and I wish I'd heard myself, is trust yourself, take risks, value who you are, and don't just wait for other people to open doors for you. You're not limited by your gender, your appearance. We're all limited in some ways that way, but you can be who you want to be, do things that no one else has done, and just keep moving ahead. Open doors for other people.
The advice I have for younger women is to always try new things. Even if you feel scared or uncomfortable, those are actually good feelings, because when you feel uncomfortable, it means you're growing as a person. And if you're always putting yourself out there, you can learn the talents you have, the things that you like, the things that you don't like, and can really shape you into the person who you're meant to be.
There's a lot of women that I look up to. Of course, my mom and my mother-in-law are two really important ones, but others are all the women I work with here at Bellarmine, to be honest. They are my biggest cheerleaders. They are strong role models. They're so dedicated to the mission and just the betterment of our whole community. And a lot of them have really helped me grow in all aspects of my life. And so I feel really lucky to work at a place where my role models are amongst me, where I get to be with them every day. They're not somebody on TV or in a magazine. They are the people that I walk with every day. And I think that's really powerful.
I've been fortunate to have a lot of role models and people that broke the ice first. And what I got to enjoy, what I really noticed I got to enjoy, was being right in that sweet spot behind. I had so much support, not just from other women, but men going into math and science, knowing that there are not a lot of women there. They hadn't had opportunity in the past. They helped me get forward and push into that area where there weren't a lot of women. And same within the military. Since I had the physical capability of keeping up, I found that I was well welcomed and supported, being pushed into those new areas where women were going into combat arms and things like that. And I feel like I owe a big debt of gratitude to the woman that came first, because they made it, I don't want to say they made it easy, but they did. They did. They made it possible. They made it easy for me, and I'm grateful, and I thank them for that.
I have literally hundreds of role models. Many of the women standing behind you right now are role models. I work with a lot of the role models. I've been here for 38 years, and I have been definitely influenced by strong women who inspire me every day. My daughter, who is many years younger than I am, is probably my greatest role model, which might sound kind of silly, but she really is, and I consider her one of my best friends. And what she has done with her life and what motivates her is an inspiration to me every day.
So the female that I probably know, it for sure look up to the most is my mom. And I am grateful to her. I lost her this last fall, but she taught me to be confident. She taught me to be myself. She taught me to always do the right thing. And she taught me to go and dream and do what I wanted to do with my life, and to never look back and make apology for that. And as a mom, she was a working mom, and she had a love of travel. And she decided that when it was time, she wanted to travel the world, and that meant that she was gone a lot. But she came home with this love of culture and this love of getting to know people from all over the world that she instilled in me, and that she did a lot of volunteering. And I think that that's why I teach today, is because I love working with young people and giving them that same hope. And so I'm really grateful for my mom, because she taught me to be me, and I'm proud of me. So that's it.
Oh, there's so many role models. I look at my colleagues right now, tremendous role models. I think of my own students. They are role models to me in such a unique way, and I'm so blessed with that. But I also go back to my mom. My mom was a very strong Filipino immigrant coming here, and she paved her way here in the United States, and she raised a beautiful family, and she raised some beautiful, strong women, including myself.
First and foremost, look up to all the women that work at Bellarmine. All of us work with our whole heart, and we just give our 100% every day that we come here. And I really appreciate how the women of Bellarmine are so vulnerable and how we come together. We have Christmas gatherings together, we gather for baby showers, we gather to celebrate, and we're always lifting each other up. I've never had a woman at Bellarmine ever put me down. They're always looking at the positive of my, of me being here at Bellarmine, and they all just give it, 100%. And so I would definitely say the women of Bellarmine.